Show me a hand lift of who's the true warriors in the crowd. How many true warriors have we got? Look at that. It's a whole sea of true warriors. We got to sit down and actually talk to each other. See a man with a flag, what's your objective? See a man with a flag there, what's your objective? What does winning look like to you? A collective security is at risk. And to walk out the next step, we need to find a way of stepping out of these boxes through communicating from a place of heart.
Our next speaker is a very special man. Anyway, I'd like you to give a big round of applause to a man from Reclaim the Line who's been at Governor House, given it to the Governor. He's from Ireland. He was a police officer in Ireland. He stands for Police for Freedom. Please give it up for the legend, Ed. Please.
Thank you very much, everybody. I just want you all to have a look around you there right now. Just have a look around the crowd and have a look at all the communist police that are standing around you, keeping you in. Can you see any? No. And how peaceful is this? Everybody's standing here quite peaceful. There's no police here. There's no need for them to be here. There was never any need for them to be here. We're all talking about freedom, but I'm not going to talk about freedom because freedom is something that we have already. We keep talking about, oh, we got to get our freedom back. We got our freedom. We already have our freedom. You know, I spent the last year and a half, I came out and I got involved because I knew there was a bridge had to be built between the police and the public. We were in a very dangerous situation if that bridge continued to fall apart. It would have contributed to the breakdown of our society as a whole and would have played right into the hands of the people that we have concerns with. So I'm quite happy to see that so much traction has been made in that regard. And I'd even question now if Dan gets in his new pandemic law and he starts issuing lockdowns, I wonder how zealous VicPol are going to be about enforcing those lockdowns if they do happen to come in. Because there's many questions that need to be asked. Now I'm here not because I was in the police, and don't let that define me. Have a look at me, I don't look like one. Right? I'm reluctantly here, but I'm here for me two kids. And after every event, the same as all you parents there, you go home to your kids and they look at you and they say, well, Dad, is it all good? And I look at them in their eye and I say, yes, son, it's all good. And I don't know if it's all good. I don't know if it's all good because I don't go home with answers. We go home with a feel-good factor. We have a vibe. We're out having a party in the park and it's awesome. We're building up our energy and we're building up our vibe. But what's next? What's the next step? A young girl got up here and she said, who is a true warrior? Show me a hand lift of who's the true warriors in the crowd. How many true warriors have we got? Look at that. It's a whole sea of true warriors. One of the first things they teach you in the police when you go into the police in Ireland is that you have to be an altruist. What an altruist is the person who goes out when everybody else stands still. You go out and you actually take a stand and you make a difference. You move. You don't wait for the others to move. You make the move. I'm just going to jump into the little piece I had written here before I came down. So I just want to take this opportunity to say that I'm honoured to have been given this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Reclaim the Line movement. Am I talking too fast? Because everyone tells me I talk too fast when I'm Irish. Slow it. Am I good? Sweet. A movement which has evolved from the grassroots from several hundred to tens of thousands across Australia within a space of 3 months, a movement of mutually affected people. The movement is a collaboration between teachers, nurses, early childhood educators, paramedics, fireys, sworn officers and community justice staff who have all been mandated. I find the humanity in displaying the years served truly touches the heart. It paints a picture of displacement. Many people seeking solutions, looking with hope towards a future that is uncertain. And we all look to this stage every week on week, and we walk, and we watch, and we walk, and we watch, and we still go home with no solutions. We're here for our children. We're here for our families. We're here for our futures. But whilst this movement was originally established by members of the frontline sector, it's truly a movement for everyone in our society. This is what the next step has to be. Unity to deal with the impact of what is being referred to as the Great Reset. This should in fact be called the Great Crash. Yes, there will be a reset. There always is one after a crash. But what does that look like? For us, we have to move forward together. But first, we must sit and listen. We must recognise the various communities and the concerns that are within our society. We see all these different flags. They're all different boxes, different communities that are within our society, with all different ideas of what way the future should look. Without sitting down and working out collectively what that future looks like, what are we looking at? We don't know what we're looking at. We're still walking around in circles. It's like what the police do. They have regular units that just cruise around the city looking for crime to pop up. And we're like that as protesters. We're walking around looking for an opportunity to cop up, to come out and get behind it and support it. But we're not being the altruists. We're not being proactive. We got to get proactive and we got to sit down. Stop looking at us at the stage. We got to sit down and actually talk to each other. See a man with a flag. What's your objective? See a man with a flag there. What's your objective? What does winning look like to you? See another man with a flag here. What does winning look like to you, brother? And we all got all those ideas that we have. We got to sit down and we got to look the same direction. So yes, there will be a reset. There always is after a crash. But what does that look like? We keep referring to community, but we live in a society of different communities. We forget that our tribe itself can become a box of division and identity, which serves to separate us, not connect us. How do we arise above this and move forward to the next step? First, we find what we have in common, and that is security. Regardless of what your personal position is, we assume our positions based on what we perceive to be security. I took the jab to secure my job. I took the jab to secure my ability to travel. However, we can collectively agree that this is not security, it's privilege. This privilege can be given or taken away at any stage. So we have a common ground. A collective security is at risk. And to work out the next step, we need to find a way of stepping out of these boxes through communicating from a place of heart. Can we wait for an election? Will it make a difference? Is there any way we can quantify our will in the absence of an election? I don't know. There's a few different opportunities there, but we can talk about them again. Do we need a referendum to ensure we can have the checks and balances so this doesn't happen again? That sounds reasonable, right? Yeah. Do all the political aspirants agree that a system of direct democratic governance is needed first? I'd say so. We should, right? Be fair enough. What about what's happening now? We allegedly have a parliament and a governor who do not have lawful jurisdiction. Lynn Bennett has proposed a velvet revolution with a lawful moratorium instructing an immediate stand down. Now here's the thing, that's happened. We're standing here. They're on a countdown. They've been given 6 days. Are we aware of what's happening there? This is all about the communications. We need to be aware of everything that's currently taking place and see is it the right direction and can we get behind it? Would it be true then that if the governor does not have lawful jurisdiction to issue valid writs, no upcoming election will be lawful? These are all reasonable questions. We need to come to the table, all of us, the constitutional people, the tribal sovereign people, the people who don't know where they stand, the common law people. How do they all interface and how do they all come together? How do these communities harmonise with the various approaches so that the best outcomes are had? Are we all good? Is she all right? Let the woman have her speak. What's wrong? Is she all right? No, we don't want hitting her back. She's got to go. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to have to get down because Monica's ready to go here. So, look, please feel free to drop over and speak over to the governor's house. There's a little few boys set up over there in the rotunda. It's not all about the lads that are there. It's a tribal meeting place. We've been asking for people to come over just to sit down around the round mat, talk about our differences and where they all meet and what is the next step. Because that's what we need to get to. Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. We'll do this together, all right? You're all legends.